didn't fit. Remember these words. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Soaking Nostalgia. My name is Matt. I'm one of your hosts.
And I am Sir Bradley.
And I am Kat.
This is actually take two because I kind of screwed up. I wanted to play that video beforehand.
Don't tell them, Pat. Edit that out.
This just...
How big of a up we are.
Hey, this makes us relatable.
No, you
Well,
ruined.
that's true.
You ruined it by
No,
saying you had to do it twice. So just edit that out.
Anyway,
Yeah, but since he said that, I got to cuss, so.
yeah, there you go. This is a part 2 of 2 talking about the OJ Simpson Trial, which is one of the biggest events of the 90s.
Possibly. Well, some say the trial of the century.
Yeah, because we're still talking about it today. When?
In 2018.
That's right. Alan, again, is not joining us this evening, but that's okay because he wasn't here for the first part. He has started a new job, but you can hear him on some of our other episodes, which includes Robin Williams and a couple of others. So, but he'll be back for future ones. We're going to do one on Kenan and Kel, which he is very excited about.
You guys probably know way more about them than me, so I might not say much.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think I'll be pretty quiet that one too. Not exactly my cup of tea, but you know.
Well, I don't know. We may not have much of a choice. If he's that excited and we all get really excited, maybe a lot of chaos, but
Well,
it'll be fun.
The show was a little chaos, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So.
Yeah. And what was Kel's favorite drink?
Orange soda.
Was it orange?
Orange soda. Yeah.
I know that.
Segway, orange soda, orange juice, OJ. Do you like that?
Oh my God.
Wow. Leaps and bounds.
That's right.
Speaking of OJ, last podcast I mentioned a doctor who was talking about a specific type of brain injury that football players get, and I couldn't remember the name of the disease or the doctor, or I guess it's not really disease. I don't know.
Injury.
But we have queued up a clip. It explains it. It is from the channel called BuzzFeed Multiplayer on YouTube. I didn't even know they existed until I was rewatching the BuzzFeed Unsolved video about the OJ case. And then they popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, more info about it. I'm studying it for the podcast, so I'll listen.
Look at that. We just gave shout out to that podcast. So, hey, want to partner up sometime?
You mean,
Yeah, come
what?
on, BuzzFeed.
No, they're
I'll
not.
watch your videos sometime.
They're not a podcast.
They play it
No,
on
they're not
YouTube.
Yeah, they're
It's-
all over YouTube.
I plan on putting this podcast eventually on YouTube, so maybe partnership one day. Maybe we'll have them on our podcast. You don't know.
Okay, roll the clip.
All right, I'll roll the clip.
You know about chronic traumatic encephalopathy?
Encephalopathy.
You got it.
All right, yeah.
It is a disease.
Oh, is that the thing that football players get?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I've heard about that, yeah.
So it was discovered by a Dr. Bennett Omalu, a forensic pathologist. He first diagnosed it in 2002. I talked to him on the phone, and here's what he said.
God did not intend for us to play football. Traumatic brain injury of all types would increase any individual's propensity to engage in violent and criminal behavior.
So it's caused by traumatic impacts to the cranium, and it results in a protein buildup in the brain's blood vessels, which affects cognitive function and can even lead to loss of neurons over time. There are no visible symptoms, but as the proteins continue to build up, the disease can affect behavior in the following ways. It can cause depression, mood swings, violent tendencies, and criminal behavior.
Interesting. There's no way to test for that?
At this point, it can only be diagnosed after death because they have to, cut up the brain.
Oh, boy.
So in the past 5 years, there are 3 former NFL players who committed suicide. All 3 of them had CTE. So Dr. Omalu said he would, quote, bet his medical license on OJ suffering from CTE.
Americans, because of our idolization of football, we directly or indirectly looked the other way.
So OJ's got CTE.
But we won't know until he's dead.
Right. Huh.
Anyway.
Wow, that's interesting. And I like the spooky music that was.
Yeah, I like the style.
Thanks for the research, Kat.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, BuzzFeed Multiplayer, as far as I can tell, it's just 2 people talking with the music, and there's like pictures, but also you can turn on captions if you are hearing impaired, but they do put parts of their conversation in text like they do on BuzzFeed Unsolved, except on BuzzFeed Unsolved, you see the host talking. Sometimes they even visit a location and they walk around depending on the subject, but
see, that'll really
it was
help.
informative because they talked about things that no one else, like, I couldn't, in all the videos I looked at, they talked about things that no one else did. And, I'm not introducing this as like an excuse for OJ for what he did.
Oh, hell no.
But, everyone who knew him, like, talked about how great he was. Like, people, and yes, I'm going to mention the Kardashians because they were a big part of it. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
They weren't awful until
okay, this was
a number of
before
years
they were
later.
famous. All the children were like teenagers and younger.
We don't have to defend the
they were
Kardashians
kids.
here.
Okay.
We're talking about OJ.
I know. I know. Just whenever there's a very polarized. You either hate him or you love him or whatever. But I was like watching videos with Chris and them, and like Kris Jenner, and like they would go on vacations with him. So
Yeah.
this disease or condition might be a part of it, and I'm not excusing what he did. I'm absolutely not, like, what happened was terrible. 2 people lost their lives. Horrible. If he did it, allegedly, la la la.
That's his book said if he did.
Also, I wanted to.
His book said if he did.
No, okay.
The book itself, the cover of it says I did it in big bold letters, but
No, it
beside
said,
the I.
No. It says if I did it.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm explaining.
Well, you're talking about how the physical book looks.
Yeah, so it looks like it says I did it by OJ Simpson. But if you look beside the I is a little F that you can barely see, so it's like if I did it.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's confessing without which he needs to confess anyway. He was acquitted. He can't be tried twice.
Oh, I see what
and he's
you
already
mean
been
now.
sued. So anyway,
I
we'll
didn't
get
look
into
up a
that.
visual of the book cover. I
Yeah.
just was reading the title.
I've read the book.
And things. I wanted to, but then I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. But
Well, whoopty dude.
if anyone out there is interested in buying
a
the book,
reader.
just know the money does go towards the foundation that Ron Goldman's family set up. It
Yeah.
goes towards the family members of victims of violent crimes.
Yeah.
So I guess to help them with whatever expenses, financial stuff, because that money, the financials will get you. So if you want to read it, then just know the money does go somewhere worthwhile.
So for those who are listening to us for the first time and may not be familiar with how this trial turned out,
Also, go listen to the first part and then come back.
Yeah, actually start at 1 and then move your way forward.
Well, if they're purely looking for OJ content, then listen to our
yes.
first part and then this one.
But the verdict came back as not guilty, which was very controversial. I know.
No, literally, like, I was watching the video of that and people did gasp just like that, actually.
Yeah.
He gasped.
Exactly.
OJ gasped.
And then you should have seen, and then
Believed it.
and Robert Kardashian's face at the end. I watched your interview with him today. I need to send you more links because I watched more videos.
Yeah.
But he had his doubts at the end, and he was actually very shocked when it came back not guilty.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing it is, the research that I've done, it talks about how, correct me if I'm wrong, that the verdict, but this was but the jury members, some of them have gone on record saying it was less to do with them thinking he was not guilty, but they've said he was not guilty because of police screw-ups, starting with Mark Furman. Just the way the police handled the case was really, really bad.
Yeah.
You couldn't trust them 100%. And so that means they trust the police less than they believed OJ was innocent.
Right.
Also, I learned,
And that's enough for reasonable doubt.
Yeah, and since the trial lasted 6 months or 9 months, I think it's projected to last 9 months.
I thought we talked about that last
We
week.
did,
At
I can't remember.
10 or 11 months, I thought.
It took better part of a year.
Yeah, a better part of a year. So they had a hard time finding people for the jury because you couldn't, pull teachers and, you couldn't pull employees from multiple places because, they would only be compensated for a short amount of time. Like, people couldn't afford to go over half a year to a year with no pay. So they did have to find people basically who didn't have a job or anything like that to worry about. So, and that led to the jury that we discussed last time. So,
well, it's hard for me to say, what it would be like from a juror's perspective because I'm looking at it from the court of public opinion, just the same as, 99.999% of the population. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it sure looked like to me that he did it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had some guilt in him no matter what it was, whether or not he actually did the crime. I'm not trying to... I'm a firm believer that he did it, and I hope he doesn't turn around and sue me for saying that.
I think, well, with what money?
For what? Sue you for what?
Yeah.
I don't think he has access to podcasts right now.
Yeah. So the reaction to the verdict was, like you said, it was a lot of shock and awe. And I believe it caused a fervor especially through the L.A. Brentwood area. There was a talk of riots, but it didn't escalate to that level. But there was talks of that possibly happening.
I mean, it was a big thing. He was a lot of people's hero. I mean, I don't care much for sports at all, really. But if you are, in that kind of genre of whatever, you can fixate on a team or a single player or a couple players. And, once he got his stride in being a football player, he garnered a lot of attention and admiration. And also, again, I mentioned in his personal life, everyone who knew him said he was great, basically. And but then,
Once he got his stride, he was good at hopping fences, too.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about belief in his guilt. And check this out. According to, this is on Wikipedia. Oh, my God. You're welcome. According to a 2016 poll, 83% of white Americans and 57% of black Americans believe Simpson was guilty.
That's actually up from the percentage it was at the time of the trial because of what did he do? He tried to rob. Oh, what was it? Las Vegas? Something? The robbery.
Yeah,
that was totally unrelated
we'll get into
to
that here in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, he was found guilty. The reaction was strong.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Found not guilty.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he was found not guilty.
You're thinking of the trial that Ron Goldman's family did.
Yes. And he was let go. He was a free man, a person who today a good majority of, well, like I said, white Americans, black Americans, believe he's guilty. And it's just unreal how, because of a few technicalities like that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to place guilt on him, but I'm trying to look at it from an outside point of view that looking at all the evidence, looking at the timeline, looking at the witnesses, that because of police mishandling the case, the jury found him not guilty. Now, if he had been found guilty of 2 murders, I don't believe OJ would be around today. I think they would have put him on death row, and they might have executed him by now.
And even if they hadn't, he'd probably still be in there. I mean,
yeah. I figured they would go ahead. They would try to get him through there as quick as possible, just because of how high profile he was. And it's been since '95, so you're looking at 23, going on 24 years since 24. The case.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Don't sometimes people sit on death row for ever?
Yeah, they do. They do. But
I don't know. I feel like he actually might have been one that's, if he had been found guilty and put on death row, he probably would have sat there for a while because...
Well, he also probably would have tried to appeal his conviction as well.
Well, I mean, probably, yeah. Because at that time, he still had money.
Well, they froze his assets. And anytime you're on trial for murder, you cannot make a dime. And that was because of... you cannot make a dime off anything glorifying the event, the victims, or anything like that. Yeah. And that was brought on because of Son of Sam, a serial killer that I would love to do a podcast episode about in the future. Maybe next season.
I feel like I know about that. Didn't he sell his life story or something?
Yeah, he sold his life story
and made into whatever, and he got money from it.
Yeah, and it was just a farce.
Yeah. So just know, if you do buy the book OJ wrote, he's not going to get a single cent. So, which I think that's good that, if you do something bad like that, Like, your story obviously can be made into, I mean, there's a whole TV show about it.
Yeah.
About the trial, but obviously he's not going to profit from it. So, like, stories can be made about it to retell it or whatever, bring attention to it. But, you know, the person who did the crime isn't going to get nothing from it.
Brad, did you see the articles about the issues of Newsweek and Time that during the course of the trial there were two pictures posted or on their covers?
I just happen to not have seen that.
Good job. Good job.
Is both the same photo taken of him. It was his mugshot. And Newsweek has him in just a standard picture, and it says Trail of Blood. Now, they consider that a little more ambiguous. You know,
Trail or trial?
Trail.
Trail. Okay.
There really was a trail of blood, though, on the pathway.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they kept saying was if the glove was moved, then maybe the blood was planted too.
Who's just splashing around blood like Jesus? Well, but the bodies were found there too. So
Mark de Fuhrman?
The Brood did it all the time. Yeah.
The Butler did it.
Some of the best entrance music in all of wrestling.
Yep.
Okay.
But no, the picture is interesting. So like I said, the Newsweek is bright. You know, it shows him, it's his mugshot, but it's not real menacing. It's almost there's almost like a line of like light and dark on his face. That's almost like showing the duality of somebody, and kind of showing him on a little more level playing field. Not guilty, not innocent, but
just
whatever.
Here's a picture and here's some facts.
Time, however,
Did they roast him visually?
I personally do not remember anybody in front of a camera that ever proclaimed his innocence.
I never did. And the only person I did for a while, the only person that did it for a while was Robert Kardashian. And even Johnny Cochran never said he was innocent. He never said those words.
No, they were just doing their job.
He was being lawyerly.
Yeah, I mean,
now Robert Kardashian, he definitely said OJ's innocent. I believe OJ. You know, he wouldn't do this. He's innocent.
Yeah. Well, him and they were so close to him. I mean, Nicole was Kris Jenner's like her best friend.
Yeah.
So,
but this other picture of Time is okay. First of all, you've got the same picture as on Newsweek. OJ, the word Time on Time magazine is going right across his forehead. The title of it is called An American Tragedy, and they've completely darkened it down, almost make it like a really eerie black and white photo, almost confirming his guilt before the trial.
So I guess they didn't believe him.
It stirred up so much controversy. The first time I saw this,
isn't it just amazing though? You can take the same image, give it to like 3 different people, and say set a certain mood to this picture with filters and shit, and give it to test subjects. Like 3 different groups of people, and certain color schemes will make people feel like happy. This others will make people feel dread, and another one will make them feel like
sort of like what girls do with filtering on Instagram anymore.
What? Shut the up.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
Yes, you are. Anyways,
so we get to fast forward.
That's what you'd look like as a cartoon.
I mean, some people do go too far.
Yeah. So we can fast forward a little bit. OJ wasn't completely free because just because you are found innocent of murder does not mean you are not liable for somebody's deaths.
And also just because you might have a party at your house that night like he did.
Yeah.
I saw a video,
he had a
like
victory party.
He had a freaking party. Like people were waiting for him. They were like cheersing, and he was like, yeah. And he was like mocking the TV reporters. I was like, all right.
Well, the man just got away with,
alleged murder.
Alleged premeditated murder.
Alleged.
But the family got a little bit of karmic revenge, as in the form of a civil lawsuit.
Cosmic revenge?
Karmic. Yeah. Karma.
I know what karma is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they sued him for a wrongful death. And they won. Hey. Oh my gosh, how much was it? He had to pay
33 point something million, which obviously he didn't
damages.
have.
Yeah.
So,
And now they auctioned his Heisman Trophy and other belongings, which brought in $500,000, which went to the family. They also tried to collect his NFL $28,000 retirement pension, but they never could collect any money. So,
I wonder if that money ever went to anybody, or if it just is sitting there like.
But he, his estate, he had to sell it. He had no money, and he had to pay restitution to the Goldman family.
Yeah, they've actually redone Nicole's house. So like the entrance is at if you ever drive on that street, it looks totally different than it used to. You know, so I guess it kind of makes sense. It's like, we'll move here, but the entrance is going to be somewhere else. We're going to rearrange some stonework here. And on a random note, you talked about the Bronco. I actually found a video of the guy who owns it now.
Oh, there's somebody that actually owns it?
Yeah.
I figured it would have been destroyed or sold to the Goldman family or something.
No, it is.
Why would they want it?
To destroy it.
To smash it with sledgehammers. Yeah. No, it is.
Or collected for.
Is it weird to say it's alive and well, even though it's a vehicle? But no, it's being kept. I will turn my volume.
But see, here's
down.
the thing. I always thought would be interesting is if they kept all the evidence and then tried OJ for manslaughter as opposed to murder. They could have done it.
Okay, the car is now owned as of, to my knowledge, February 9th, 2016 by a Mike Gilbert, who was Simpson's agent at the time of his ex-wife. The time of the murder, basically. So he's kept it in prime condition. It's only put 20 miles on it, and he has the original license plate. So, like, if you watch videos of the car chase, you see the license plate. He has it.
Yeah.
See, it's all positive. Obviously, you listeners can't see, but it's in this guy's garage. He was going to sell it to he might not own it.
Wait a minute.
Right at this very second.
His agent was Roddy Piper.
No. Yeah. No,
Just think when you get all the answers, he changes the questions.
Oh, and the video I'm mentioning is from Inside Edition. I don't know what happened. My mic or my headphones got jostled loose, and I couldn't hear myself. It was weird after hearing myself for so long to not hear myself. I was like, something happened.
It's a little something we're trying to get used to here with our new podcast.
We have a freaking, let's see, a 6-way, what? Oh, shut up. Yeah, we have a 6-way headphone splitter now, so we're good.
That's what y'all get for making me a cake for my birthday.
That's right. That's right. Sir Bradley had a birthday. And
oh, yeah. I meant to mention that. Happy birthday.
Cat made him a cake. It was a delicious cake.
It was a delicious cake.
It's got sprinkles on it.
Yeah. Well, of course it would, because you made it. You're a sparkly human being.
Shut up. They're not even sparkly.
Sparkly spirit.
She is. You're a lucky man, man.
I am. I do recognize that. I know I kind of bust your metaphorical balls a little bit, babe.
Act like an idiot.
And act like an idiot, but yes, I'm very thankful.
And you're just weird?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for sure.
It's definitely weird.
OJ.
What? No, not you.
OJ's had some.
You can't be serious.
No, don't Shirley. Boy.
He's had some other legal troubles since the civil suit.
Just a little bit.
He's had to pay back taxes to the government. He's had a tax lien put on him because of that. He attempted to register his OJ Simpson, OJ the Juice as trademarks for anything and everything.
Oops, sorry.
And
why didn't he already do that before he murdered people? Like, honestly.
Because apparently we're not dealing with a very intelligent human being.
You know, yeah.
Maybe it's the CTE.
It could be.
Violent and dumb.
He was arrested for battery and burglary of an occupied dwelling, and he yanking the glasses off another motorist during a traffic dispute.
It's a very specific thing to do to another person.
Yeah. But he could, he was tried and acquitted of those. He's almost like the Teflon, murderer. The juice is slick.
The juice, that's the odd sentence you just said.
Yeah, well, these are odd times.
He's an odd person now because, of what he allegedly did, and now he just can't stop getting in trouble. It's like, you think he would just want to fly under the radar and not assault people.
Juice. Not the juice.
The juice needs to stop.
Well,
the juice needs to freeze.
we're not in his shoes, and
Or his brain.
Maybe the type of lifestyle that he led, he can't get away from it.
It could be.
Maybe something that he craves or something. Maybe.
Well, apparently, the FBI thought he was craving ecstasy and laundered some money because they raided his home back in 2001, right before Christmas.
Oh, fun. What a nice Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
They did uncover equipment capable of stealing satellite television programming, but they didn't find anything else on his property, no drugs or anything.
So he was just stealing some channels. He was just bored.
Yeah, he also got arrested in 2002. He just cannot stay behind. He cannot stay out from behind bars.
It's like he started with with the worst thing you could do, and has just progressed. And he's like, you know what? I maybe did this. I'll just do a bunch of other shit. Yeah.
But he was arrested in Miami, Florida for speeding through a manatee protection zone with his boat.
Oh my God, they take that serious. Freaking jeez.
Oh.
Not only it hurts and kills the manatees, it damages your boat anyway because they're huge. That's stupid.
Then DirecTV accused him of
oh my gosh,
illegal
DirecTV.
Yeah.
Now DirecTV is coming.
Now look, you get into just a simple agreement to have DirecTV, you'll never get out of contract. So, getting on their bad side,
they're gonna roast you.
You can't get out of their contract. I'm serious. I work at a bank. I'm not going to say which one, just because they might get ticked off of me for doing a podcast about them.
You mean
mentioning? Yeah,
I mean the one over by the.
But believe me, this is even at another bank I worked at too. But anybody who's had DirecTV will try and fight them to cancel for months because there's a fine print.
Read that fine print, otherwise you're.
Yeah, if you do not cancel within 3 months of your contract being up, you're automatically renewed for another year. So that means you agree to it, whether you've said yay or nay to it. You didn't tell us, so you've automatically.
That after they cancel after it expires. Or
no,
both.
Both.
Oh, okay.
So the company won $25,000 in judgment. He was ordered to pay an additional $33,000 in attorney's fees.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's like
that's why he was trying to steal shows from someone else.
So, but then he finally got some of his comeuppance. He was arrested.
Finally, jeez.
Brad, do you know why he was arrested this last time? And he was actually incarcerated for this.
It was a robbery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dude.
He was a bad boy.
It was. Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
He was naughty.
He took a group of people and took them into a hotel casino and took his own sports memorabilia by gunpoint. First of all.
Oh, yeah. Why did a casino have his memorabilia? Just to display?
It was a hotel room. It said items that had been stolen from him. So
listen, mother, I'm here to steal back my shit.
You know what's funny? As I'm listening to the playback, I hear myself say a lot.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'll probably say a lot, especially with more casual subjects.
I say Shirley, you can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley.
Let's see. What was he eventually jailed for? Let's see.
Male prostitution?
Well, if he spends enough time in prison, yeah.
He's in his 70s now.
He was sentenced to a total of 33 years in prison with possibility of parole after 9 years. And finally in 2000, which would have been in 2017. And in 2012, a judge agreed to reopen the case, blah, 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 blah. 2013, he was finally given parole. At his parole hearing, 2017, the board decided to grant Simpson parole, and he was finally released in October of last year, having served 9 years for that. So at least he went to jail for...
Yeah, but not even for a decade.
Well, I mean, if you think... close to it, 9 years, and then if you take all the times he was in jail and held, he 15 years worth of prison. Or not prison, but jail, anyway. He was held behind bars.
Should have just gone to jail the first time. Just stayed there because he wasn't productive to society. So...
I love this. I moved the mouse over the thing here.
Well, had he not f***ed up like this, we wouldn't be doing this episode.
No. 2 episodes.
No. Episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of content, a lot of channels on a lot of different networks wouldn't have ever produced.
Yeah.
True.
They would
So
just
thank
not.
you for being a up, OJ.
Thank you, OJ.
I mean, we put it-
You've made our life so much easier.
I'm sure we would have found another person who did something terrible in the
However,
past to talk
prior
about.
to this,
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have 24-hour news coverage.
I do have to. Prior to all this, I would like to thank you for Nordberg because I loved you there.
I love them. I love those movies so much. I bet people watch it in a cathartic way just because he gets injured so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're
I
gonna
love that laugh.
Thank you.
Well, we're getting ready to take a break. But while we're on break, I'm going to show you the cover to that book.
Give me a break.
If I did it.
Give me a
Well, I already saw it, so because I was like,
me off a
I had to
piece of
Google
that
it.
Kit Kat bar.
Not sponsored by Kit Kat, but hey, hit us up.
But we're going to go to our first ad, and what you'll notice, in the past couple of episodes, when we actually recorded this, we didn't have any background music playing during the
We're
ads,
learning
but
things.
Alan, in his infinite wisdom, has recommended that we put music on there, and I think it worked out really well.
Don't give him credit.
But we're going to take a break, and do an ad, and then we'll be back. Oh no! You just got food all over your favorite outfit. You have a wedding this weekend, and your trusty suit is wrinkled and looks dingy. Normal washing just won't get that spot out. Your pants need to be let out or taken in. Don't panic. Instead, come down to Key Dry Cleaners. The staff at Key Dry Cleaners takes pride in making sure you look your best for any and all occasions. Key Dry Cleaners offers same-day dry cleaning and laundry services, as well as timely, quality service for any alterations. Key Dry Cleaners has serviced Glasgow and the surrounding areas for over 25 years with the same quality and care that has helped make them not only a long-time establishment in Barron County, but also helped name them Best Dry Cleaners in Barron County for 2018. Key Dry Cleaners is located at 401 Happy Valley Road, and their hours are 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Closed on Sundays. So come on down to Key Dry Cleaners, where all your dry cleaning needs are met with a smile. And we are back. Wow, we actually took a little bit longer break than the ad allowed us, just because we just started talking about a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm cool off camera,
There's no cameras, Bradley.
off audio.
Off mic. God.
I'm calling our next show. Two
No,
poles,
you are
three
not.
holes.
Absolutely not.
2 poles, 3 holes, people.
He's been shot down multiple times. Not going to happen.
It has a nice ring.
I don't even want to hear
It's
that from your face.
It's fun.
I never want to hear that from
It
your
is
face
funny.
again.
Tell you what, if we can't call the entire show...
We are not. Are you
Hold on. Hear me out. If we cannot call that whole show that, how about we call
No.
certain episodes every so often that?
No. 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 No.
She's put her metaphorical foot down, it sounds like.
I'll put my real foot down too. Very carefully, because I don't want to knock over my table.
Hey, PG-13.
We'll find other ways.
Bleep me, mother.
We'll find other ways to make the audience laugh.
Oh, yeah. All right, so...
I almost made a really mean joke.
Well, let's not.
I was about to say, wait till we get a camera, Bradley.
Shame.
She's
Shame.
making fun of me. If she did, it went way over my head.
Wait until we get a camera and then they can see you. We can make them laugh with your face.
Here I am.
How can you say that with a man wearing a very awesome Superman shirt with Asian writing on
I
it?
don't think he's unattractive.
And
I'm
I'm
just
going
being
through difficult time.
Hey,
I'm trying to make you laugh by being
Look,
cynical.
look, she just admitted she's being a
Not a
Same difference.
Yeah, pose to all the
wow,
audience.
this is a lot of editing for you.
All the audience is going to hear
Just cut out. No, just cut out this whole chunk. Be like, gone.
No
Anyway,
extras.
we're gonna talk a little bit
Bloopers.
about
Bloopers. Yeah.
We're going to talk a
Yes.
little bit about Nicole Brown Simpson, her background a little bit, and then I'll let Kat handle talking about some Ron
I
Goldman.
wrote a little snippet.
Yeah. So,
Snippet.
Snippets. I had a circumcision when I was 17.
Do we edit that or?
no.
No,
Okay.
that's old.
Speaking
Hurt like a mother.
Here's something I did not know about Nicole Brown Simpson, as I'm sure a lot of the listeners don't. She was actually not born in America. She was born in Germany, Frankfurt in West Germany. Well, of course, at that point, back in 1959, that's when you still had East and West Berlin, the East and West Germany. So she was born in the western part that was controlled more by the Allies than it was by Russia.
Well, since she's no longer with us, I'll keep vulgar comments.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Now her mom was German, but her father was American. I don't know too much about his background, but at some point they moved back to America, and she attended Rancho Alamitos High School in California.
Where?
Rancho Alamito,
Rancho Alamito.
California.
City?
Garden Grove, California is
Garden
the city.
Grove.
Yeah. They actually met, Nicole and OJ met in 1977. She was a waitress at a private club called The Daisy,
The Daisy.
In Buffalo?
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills.
Shoot.
No-
I
She
was
was-
thinking Buffalo because that's where he got drafted to play.
And she was
yeah.
she was only 18 when they met.
Oh,
If-
well, 77 it was well into his football career.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he was
So-
starting to do some acting
Yeah.
things.
So he could probably afford the membership
He
or
may have been with
whatever.
the 49ers at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I think so at that point.
49ers still don't care about sports.
And at that point, Simpson was still married to his first wife, which we kind of covered that last episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it was so now they did marry in 1985, 5 years after his retirement from football. So they did stay married for about 7 years before they got a divorce, and that's when things turned ugly. And a lot of it was about the kids. They had 2 children, Sydney and Justin. In 1989, I guess after well, no, this is prior to them getting divorced. He pled no contest to spousal abuse, which that led to the divorce, and then Nicole not wanting him to be around the children, which is
I think that's a
understandable
good
if
reason.
he's
That's a good reason for divorce.
If he's volatile, yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
someone volatile to be placing his hands or her hands on the children. So now this isn't saying anything ill of her, but we also, from what I understand, she also gave pretty good back to him. It was just a very toxic situation all
Yeah.
around.
Well, but if he was a first, then
Well, it doesn't matter first or last. Sorry, that sounds funny. It doesn't matter who was first or last if both of you,
First, doesn't matter.
yeah, if you're giving and getting and then giving and getting back, then
well, but if there's anything,
you're no better than the person.
well,
who's
yeah, but if there's
perpetrating.
anything physical happening, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just lay down
you
and let
defend
them
you
scream
defend
at you?
yourself. I understand. You defend yourself, but
She
what
did.
I'm
I mean,
saying-
she called the police on him. So
She did, but from what I understand, she also started some of the arguments too to lead to that because she knew he would do that, and she was trying to
Well, I don't have any facts to back that up. So
She was trying to,
Trying to poke the bear.
yeah, she was trying to poke the bear to use that against him for future custody hearings.
I thought we were supposed to say nice things about her.
Yeah,
If that's true, that's really
yeah, and I'm not excusing, and no, I'm not excusing anything he did because
No.
to me everything he did after football and doing some acting outside of all that stuff, he's
absolutely.
he's a piece of work. He really is. See, I do say him a lot.
It's all right.
Yeah,
You're just a person.
I didn't hear you.
I said
Well, now we can hear you.
I don't get it. No. I didn't catch it.
So you have some nice things to say about her.
Oh no! She was
She was pretty.
I mean, yes.
She was attractive. She was also she was a good mother. She was very good to her children. Nobody can ever say anything against her being a really good mother. She was a good. She did her best to be a good influence on them, and she did everything she could to shield them from the things that were going on. So yes, I mean she was very good, and everybody that knew her thought she was a very sweet person. And it was just a toxic situation can take two people that are really good and turn them into very bad, people. It can happen.
Yeah.
And if you throw in, if it were true, I mean it's speculation. If CTE did affect him in that way, I'm sure that escalated things a lot worse than what a normal argument could have been.
I just wish there was a way to tell before they're dead.
Yeah, well, it's like we talked about with Robin Williams. There's really no way of finding out finding out he had Lewy body until after he had already passed away.
Do you have something on your head, or is that
that was from the elf hat I was wearing today at work, and the stickers and the tag stuck to it.
I saw that too. So a while I couldn't focus on anything.
I just saw it, and I'm like,
now I have a slight indentation.
So it's not a physical object. It's just
it's just from where that sticker stuck on there the whole day.
I just couldn't tell what the.
What I thought, I was like,
I thought there was a piece of plastic stuck to your head.
That's got a bundle of blackheads right there. Poor guy.
Minecraft pot prostitute teabagged my head.
That is a very the actual was that? Yes. Okay. It sounds like a personal problem.
It happens
in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't finish in 2 seconds.
I tell you, the most tragic thing about her death wasn't because of her relationship with Ron, which ultimately caused him to be another victim, but it was how she was killed. And we talked about that last episode where she was almost beheaded. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, she lived through a lot of the stab wounds and the cuts and everything. And what finally did it was the throat cut. So she lived through however long that terror was, and seeing her friend get stabbed and killed, and then it's.
Well, do you think she was alive to see Ron be stabbed, or? I
think so. I think that was.
Well, I guess if you have been stabbed that many times, you can't really do anything. So if Ron came in,
because then
whoever was there,
you said she was. There was a story saying that she was yelling for help, and Ron was there, and he came in. So yeah, she would have seen him get stabbed, and then OJ would have turned around and finished her off.
Also, something.
You mean the killer?
Yeah, the killer.
The
killer. I'm sorry.
Allegedly
OJ.
You gotta say that.
Whoever the killer was.
Also, there's something I want to mention that we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the reason or how Nicole and Ron's bodies were found actually is because Nicole's dog was incessantly barking and I guess I don't know. No one's ever talked about if there was a door open, but the dog was outside.
Yeah.
Because it was running around. It actually led some people probably just having what was probably just a regular stroll through their neighborhood. The weather was probably nice. They're like, oh, let's just take a stroll down our street. Oh, this dog's barking. Let's follow it. Oh my God, dead bodies and blood.
Well, if we'd like to segue into a little bit about Ron Goldman, then
it's just
how did Nicole know him?
I wasn't prepared for that exact question. Okay, hold on. I just wrote,
hot dogs and buns.
Okay,
he was a bartender at a country club that she frequented.
Yes, I just wanted to talk about them a little bit, as people.
Yeah, go ahead.
And and just watching and just being interested in this kind of stuff, I had already like months and months ago, I'd already watched that the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode and already. Had prior knowledge before we were like, oh, we're going to do a podcast
you've
episode.
Watched this before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just kind of
what
happened, without.
Okay, good thought process.
But you had no idea that we were going to do this, and it's just something that
no, the BuzzFeed Unsolved, they do true crime and they do supernatural stuff off and on. Each season is different.
I guess that's why it excited you when I mentioned
because I had
OJ.
Some knowledge about it, and then I just delved deeper into it. So I was like, oh my God, I know some stuff about this.
A happy accident leads to great chemistry.
Wow. So I did just use Wikipedia, but I just wanted to say something at the beginning.
Do what?
I could use a happy accident.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you can consider this a happy accident, but it's a shame. I know you're going to talk about Ron, but when they met at that country club up until the night of the incident, they'd only known each other about 6 weeks.
I thought it was, yeah, they hadn't known each other very long. I thought they...
And he ended up borrowing her Ferrari, which she probably got from OJ at one point.
Or at least, I guess, because of his money when they were married.
How angry would he have been if it was sort of like... I'm not even saying it's understandable, but what if it was like he either somebody told him or he saw Ron Goldman driving his Ferrari?
I'd say he probably heard, because, I mean, if you're that popular, you know so many people.
Yeah.
And they were probably like, hey.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
This thing just happened.
I can't imagine that going over very well.
No, especially somebody who was becoming progressively more volatile as allegedly as OJ.
Something that you'd probably want to, walk, on eggshells.
Yeah. Anyways.
But go ahead and, you can talk about, Ron for a little bit.
Well, I was like,
because you have some good information right there.
Thank
you for sharing anyway.
Yeah, teach us, Miss Kitty.
Trying.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
I was like, well, first off, I'd like to thank anyone who has not only listened to the first part of our OJ episodes, but have made it with us this far, because I guess it means you think we're interesting and like our take on
Hopefully.
it. So,
I think we're interesting.
So thank you very much.
I think we're interesting.
Well,
I'm very interested myself.
Yeah.
I'd also, and on a more somber note, because I realized we weren't joking about the subject matter, but we did crack a lot of jokes last week, just how our chemistry is working. But I'd also, like many people have undoubtedly before us, offer our condolences to the friends and family of Nicole and Ron. 100 years could go by, and you'd still wish that they were with you, especially because Nicole and Ron seem to have such bright futures ahead of them, whether or not the futures involve each other in any sort of capacity beyond friendship, because I saw information, Ron, like, he was very active. Like, he moved to California with his family when he was 18, but he was independent. He lived by himself. He supported himself. He worked many jobs. So, it's like, he seemed like a very driven person, and it just sucks that was taken away.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was born to parents Sharon, and I'm going to probably pronounce his last name wrong, even though it's very short. Ruto? R-U-T-O?
Rudo.
Rudo? Rudo. I've never seen that name before.
It's Greek.
And, Greek.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. And Fred Goldman. He was born on July 2nd in 1968. His parents divorced in 1974. He lived with his mom for a little bit, and I guess that didn't work out. So he lived with his dad and his little sister, Kim. She must have been the one that was in the courtroom, because I was watching, when I watched the verdict being talked about, she was one that was like sobbing next to his father, and I was like, yeah, wasn't a pleasant thing to watch, seeing that. He attended high school and one semester of university or college for us Americans in Illinois, and then he moved to California.
Yeah.
He did have many jobs. He was like tennis instructor, waiter, and apparently a model for a store called Z90049. I don't know if
it was.
Are you supposed to pronounce it a certain way, or like?
No, it was just popularly known as Z9.
Oh, Z9. Okay,
yeah, it was just
that would be a lot easier to like say on a regular basis. Like, want to go to Z9?
It worked out a whole lot better than M9.
Yeah. At least this one didn't have any weird surprises at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of information I didn't cover because this isn't a Ron Goldman podcast. But if all the information on Wikipedia is correct, he seemed like a pretty interesting guy. Someone that maybe in 6 weeks you would, start a friendship with and invite over to your house and stuff, because he seemed like a cool dude. And I realized I thought,
because we have recently met, and now he's going to think that I'm going to come into the.
I learned today actually Oh my gosh. I learned today that at the time of Ron Goldman's death, he was younger than I am right now. He was just like a month or so shy of his 26th birthday.
And he had just gotten his EMT license.
Yeah. Although that's...
EMT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Although he
didn't do?
Live.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. Oh. Wow. I went there. I went to the dark place. Oh, wow.
You went all the way there, and now
Yeah.
you need to try to come back. I don't know if you can.
Oh, wow.
I was going to mention his hobbies. He like learned surfing and stuff. Like, but do not high five that.
Oh, wow. It just,
I mean, the first episode I talked about Kurt Cobain shooting his mouth off. So
So as you can tell, we're not a super serious podcast.
tension breaker.
Tension. Like I was trying to have a f***ing moment.
I know. And it slipped out.
Oh, that's what she said.
She's talking about me.
You already broke the moment by making a joke. He's like, about a dead guy. So f*** off.
Yeah.
Also, as you can probably tell, we're not a crime podcast. We're just
No.
no.
But the lack of respect for our podcast is a crime.
I don't know what to say. Where do we go from there? Goodbye, everybody.
Another ad? How about that? How about we do another ad?
Another ad. Let's take a
And
break.
take a breather, huh?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Christmas is coming up and you're stressed out about the family photo you've been planning. You were ready for fall, but your hair wasn't. You have a formal coming up and you can't quite get that glamorous look you've been dreaming of. Then, look no further than Vanity Salon and Spa. Vanity Salon and Spa is a full-service salon who specializes in styling, color, and makeup. Our stylists work hard to make sure your dreams are a reality by showing you glamour and beauty is no further than a phone call away. Vanity Salon and Spa is located at 403 Happy Valley Road in Glasgow, Kentucky. Their hours are 7:30 a.m. until 7 o'clock at night or until the last appointment of the day. Call 270-629-4779 to make an appointment. Let the girls of Vanity Salon and Spa show you that glamour and beauty are always within reach. All right, so I believe... Well, that was strange.
What up? We had technical difficulties.
Yeah, which tends to happen from time to time. Apparently in the power strip, which I need to replace, where I had the mixer plugged into it, it just gave
It was
out.
like, hey, I'm going to stop working right now.
Oh, well. Anyway, that's, hey, that's what
screw
makes...
you guys, I'm going home.
Peace out. Also, random fact about power surge. Oh, that's not a power surge. Surge protectors.
Power strip, yeah.
Unless you get a real expensive one, starting at $70, they are only good for one use. So
Yeah, we heard about that.
just so you know. Good for you to know because you got a lot of put into it.
Yeah. So, but it happens. That's just what makes this real.
Makes it real frustrating.
Hey, people, we up.
Our power strip stopped.
Or our IT department, anyway. Oh, hey, Matt.
Oh, hey, you're the IT department.
I figured it out. So anyway.
To be fair, he did, yes.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to go over was just what they actually won, the total amount of damages awarded to the Goldman family.
We did mention that earlier, but
Yeah, but we never did assign a total to it. It was $19.5 million to his family. So
I thought it was wait.
they
where's
got
the 30?
additional funds from the sale of the book, If I Did It, which garnered $33.5 million.
Oh, this is profits from the book.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought this was from the trials. They got 33 on that. 33 million. Okay.
33 was from the book, and 19.5 was what was actually awarded. Oh. So, yeah.
Okay.
And a
Because
portion of the
it was up to
proceeds-
them to for
Yeah.
it to be published.
The family kept a good portion of it, but some of it, the other portion of it went to the Ron Goldman Foundation for Justice.
Yeah, they
which,
started a charity in their son's name.
which is still around. So if anybody would like to donate or learn more about this type of thing, then go to the Ron Goldman Foundation for Justice.
Is there an exact?
make you feel
Is there
better?
an exact website for it?
Make you feel better announcing that?
I don't know. Just Google it. as people like to say to
Google
me.
it.
Google it. All right, so
hope it does.
It's the Ron Goldman Foundation for Justice.
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. www.rongoldmanfoundation.org. So
Okay.
you can either buy the book, or I guess you can probably just donate directly if you want to. If you don't want,
Yeah.
if you don't want to book a copy of the book, be it physical or
Remember when
electronic.
when internet sites started with www?
Yeah.
Dot.
up.
Instead of just
I was trying to be very accurate and respectful, Bradley.
I've not heard it in like 10 years.
hey,
It helps me focus on what I'm doing.
It is a nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
Podcast.
Hey, that's my nostalgic item of the week. So, Matt, what is yours?
My nostalgic item of the week. Nice segue.
Thanks.
Okay, sometimes when we have nostalgia, it's not necessarily for something good.
Oh no, you're gonna have a bad thing.
Yeah, we tried something decent last week when we tried that clearly Canadian sparkling water.
Also, I purchased the peach flavor.
That was not
Well-
part one. That was
No, that was
No, that was the episode I wasn't there because I
Yeah.
that
needed
was
to do
Robin
things.
Williams. That
Yeah.
was at the,
I
that
needed
was in
to
the
do
bonus
domestic
section
things.
of Robin
Bonus,
Williams.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you bought the raspberry flavor. I drank the peach flavor at home, and it was quite delightful. I look forward to buying more of it. But anyways, your bad nostalgic item of the week, apparently.
Okay, so you
the
know,
last one wasn't good either.
Well, at
some decades.
least I knew about that one.
Okay, so the nostalgic item of the week. You know how sometimes every decade somebody makes some sort of ignorant fashion faux pas decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
What do you all-
I think we all have a personal one, but what's your one of the?
What do you all remember about frosted tips?
Oh my god, that the caps are painful as hell.
Frosted tips, made popular by most of the boy bands that came out. That one was actually one of the members of Backstreet Boys, I believe.
Because he just showed us a picture, just so
yeah.
you know.
I remember Ben Affleck supporting that for a while.
Yeah, he did it.
Mike Piazza.
Yep.
When he was playing with the New York Mets.
I
And-
suppose if you have short hair, it's frosted tips and it doesn't hurt. But if you have long hair and you're trying to get highlights, it hurts when it's being pulled
And
through the cap. Just so you know.
Actually have had highlights.
Yeah,
with long hair.
self confession. I had frosted tips. However, it wasn't on purpose.
It was.
no.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories of something you did that I obviously
Yeah.
wasn't there for, but
I don't know. I must have been drunk a lot when I was younger.
no, this was at your house, wasn't it?
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
you weren't drunk at your house.
No.
Mom would have killed you.
I don't know why, but I just got it in my head that I wanted to bleach my hair blonde. I don't know why.
Sometimes you just get that urge.
I don't know.
It's called the wild hair in your ass.
Well, honestly, no. Okay, now that I
Like wild
recall,
hair on his head.
my mother's salon had been Vanity Salon hadn't been open for very
Yes,
long.
sponsored.
Yeah. Thank you, sponsor. Hadn't been open for very long,
My mother's
and
a hairdresser as well.
sometimes I actually worked here as the counter person to pay for the bills.
And when he says here, we're using a spare room in the salon, right?
Yes,
This very second.
and known as Deadpan Studio. It says so on the door.
There's a nameplate.
Yes. So they of course have
Genius,
these.
Whoever come up with that.
That was Sir Bradley. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
That
So,
was me clapping.
Of course, at any sort of salon, barbershop, you've got these books that have hairstyles in it, right?
Some of them are old, some of them are recent.
Yeah, well, back in the mid 2000s,
2000s. What a time.
Yeah.
What a time.
yeah, there was a picture of this guy that he had some frosted tips, but he also had different colors in his hair. You know, just faint. You couldn't quite tell.
Like pastels?
I don't know.
That's what faint colors are, is
Okay.
pastels.
So.
Also, you're colorblind.
Yeah. So in order for the color to take to my hair, they had to bleach it blonde first and then put the color on it because the base was very dark.
Yes, as you do.
So for those that aren't familiar with that, I am because I spend a lot of time with Kat over here getting her hair.
Well, it's also
dyed.
just kind of basic. Like, if you've got dark hair and you want vividness,
As a guy, we'd have no idea.
you got,
That was my point.
well, okay.
And a good portion of the
Well.
listeners would be male.
I feel like it doesn't have to necessarily
Straight
be
males.
geared towards hair. If you want something lightened, even if you're just a painter, if you have a dark color, you need it lighter, you put light in it, and then you mix that up, and it makes
So-
it different.
So there I am, It says leave on for 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, pretty standard.
So it gets put on my hair, and no joke, this is 100% serious. After 5 seconds, my head burned.
Yep, it does.
I ran
That can happen.
straight to the shower to wash it out. The bleach hadn't been on my head more than 15 seconds. My hair was fluorescent white. It could glow in the dark.
I wish there was a picture of that I could see. That's great.
The only evidence of that time happening was, of course, now don't get me wrong. Some people actually did want their hair like that.
I had a bleach
Not
blonde
me.
phase. Like, I'm naturally
No,
blonde.
I don't
but
mean bleach
had
blonde. I mean fluorescent white.
Well, okay.
My hair was fluorescent white, so I did not want that. But some people in Hollywood, Eminem was one for having very bright, bleachy, almost fluorescent white hair.
Also damages your hair.
Yeah,
So.
but obviously that's what happened. I'm surprised my hair didn't fall out. But
Yeah.
after a couple of months, hair started growing back. Eventually, that fluorescent white turned a little more blonde, and it became frosted tips.
Finally.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite stories.
because it's embarrassing to me.
Yes.
Oh.
Also, like, except for the burning, obviously, we all wish that bleaching
Except for the
would
slight
happen in
burning sensation.
Except for the burning, we all wish it would happen in 15 seconds. It'd be cut like half an hour out of the process.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the nostalgic item of the week. Frosted tips. None of us are actually really happy
Just
that
the
it
tip,
happened.
the frosted tip.
Oh, you stole my coming to the microphone.
Oh!
Just the tip.
Just
But
the
see, that's your
tip.
problem when you're just coming to the microphone. You're only using your tip.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
All right.
Anyway,
Am I? I'm
I
not.
think they could handle the whole
All
thing.
right, no.
So it's lucky they just get the tip.
Just
all right. Anyway, this is going to be episode number 7, which means we have 3 more before the end of the season. One of them will be Tom Petty. One of them will be Keenan and Kel. As for that third one, I don't know what it's going to be yet.
maybe I can pick something
Maybe we have a list of 40 different items.
that got very excited and wrote down 40 items.
Yes.
I'll have to look at it, see if any
Yes.
of it correlates with
So-
my childhood. But
Yeah, maybe you can. So, anyway, that will work. Again, listeners, if you would like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at our email as soakingnostalgia@gmail.com, and a new email which will be set up this evening, which by the time the podcast launches, it will be active. It will be the email for Deadpan Studio. I'm not going to give that email address yet because I'm not 100% sure if it just deadpanstudio@gmail.com
we gotta
is
see, or if we gotta add a
available,
number or something.
but in the show notes, we'll have the accurate email address. Please check out the show
And we'll have
notes.
the links to everything that I mentioned. We'll have a link to the foundation
Yes.
and probably places to buy the book.
Please check out the charity, the Ron Goldman Foundation. Please, it's a very important foundation in which it gives very good information to everybody that is trying to combat domestic violence of different
Yeah,
forms.
it just
So,
helps people in a tough spot,
Yes.
because that's expensive.
yeah. And please, if you would like to send us money,
Oh, we're doing that now.
I'll work on the 3rd Street corner. No,
Oh my god! I thought you were going somewhere that wasn't
I
bullshit
was
with
3rd
it.
Street corner. Yeah.
Where
No,
he's going.
no, he will not be on a street corner.
And if you have special requests, I'll be there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make me your guys' pimp, or
No,
I
but
think I need your cane, Bradley.
no. Whoever holds the cane becomes the pivot man. That's the rule.
Okay, well then, you're pivot man and doing tricks. All right.
Wow, this
we're-
the end of
we
this
need to
podcast has
end-
taken a turn.
No,
Yeah.
it's double pay.
We ain't getting paid yet.
All right. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that last episode will be for this season. However, we are starting to get ideas for an additional podcast
That isn't
series.
nostalgic.
That's
It's
not
just
nostalgic. We'll have
literally-
more on
yeah.
that within the next couple of episodes, and we will launch that probably.
I say we should figure it out and announce it on the last episode.
You realize what you just
we'll do
did,
that.
right?
What?
You just gave them the tip.
That's right. That's all it takes.
And on that note, also
Anyway.
we are gonna. Also, I will be setting up Facebook pages and Twitters for Deadpan Studios and Soaking Nostalgia. And in the future, whatever other podcast by a different name we decide to do.
Yes, we will have more information in the coming episodes.
No.
In the forthcoming episodes. So anyway.
You're going to get banned. You're banned from Deadpan.
He'll be death banned.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
what we got possible merchandise as well. But
Yes.
T-shirts with our face on them.
That would be great. T-shirts with our face, stupid we've said.
I think we should. I don't know. You mentioned that. I literally just got a vision of Deadpan Studios, but like, just like on a black T-shirt or something, just like in white, but like in like some bullshit font, like Comic Sans or something, like something stupid.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. However, like I said, by the time this podcast launches, everything's going to be already recorded, and we're just going to release them in order week after week. So anyway, let's bring this to a close. Thank you all for listening. Please send your emails to us. Starting next season, I have an idea of maybe reading the listener emails about what they like, don't like, and I can pocket.
I mean, we
ones
can't
that would
improve
like to
unless
be
you tell us how we
seductive
suck. So
No, I'll just keep
sure
the ones that
there's plenty
want
of people out there just willing to tell us how bad we suck.
No, but I'm sure there's plenty of them out there that want to, marry us. I mean, hell, serial killers get fan mail. We oughta.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I just had a thought. If any of you out there have an idea of someone we could interview, either they can Skype in or they could physically come to where we are. Or if you are somebody who happens to have an interesting job that correlates with anything that we're talking about,
Nostalgia or our future podcast.
Then just hit us up. It'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to guess like every week, but, to interview some interesting people. We already got some people on our radar, but if you are an interesting person or you know someone.
We're not picky, just be interesting.
I mean.
And I'm going to make Matt do some work by editing this out, but if you're cute and...
Boy, she's taken and he's a...
Could do.
I used to do.
Do you know what we could do?
I'm kidding.
We'll talk
She's
about this
just
after the show. Anyway, this has been the Soaking Nostalgia Podcast. Please keep listening. Thank you for listening. I am one of your hosts, Matt.
And I am Sir Bradley.
And I am Kat.
We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.